Greetings from Kigali, Rwanda. My name is Purity Momo from the East Africa Philanthropy Network, and the storytelling agenda with our remarkable members right here still continues. We are joined by one Cyrus Nkusi, the Chief Executive Officer of Governance for Africa. Mr. Cyrus Nkusi, thank you so much for sparing time to speak with us today, and welcome to this platform. Kindly talk to us about you as a person and maybe give us an overview of your institution.
First of all, thank you for having me. It's a pleasure joining and teaming Philanthropy, East African Philanthropy Network. Governance for Africa is a Pan-African civil society organization.
Okay.
Envisioning a democratic, peaceful, and empowered African society. And our main mission is to enhance and promote the principles of good governance for sustainable development and prosperity.
Okay.
So we are headquartered here in Rwanda, registered by the Rwandan government, but of course championing Pan-Africanism within and across the continent.
All right. So I have taken time to understand the work that you do, and for that reason I wanted to have this conversation in sections. So Cyrus, under your leadership, how has Governance for Africa, Rwanda's approach to poverty alleviation, evolved over the years, especially in relation to capacity building and promoting self-reliance?
Thank you so much. First of all, that's a very hard question, basing that our start was also not easy. With the poverty alleviation and to economic development of Rwanda, first of all, it came from the rebirth of Rwanda after 1994 genocide.
Yeah.
We are students of history. We grew up seeing the challenges after 1994 genocide. I think at the World Bank, IMF did not even want to support Rwanda financially because it was regarded as a failed state. Our parents worked hard to dignity, self-independence, and working for the citizens of Rwanda. We were still young, but we were watching. To an extent where we said, our current president, His Excellency Paul Kagame, said the main wealth for Rwanda, it's Rwandans themselves. So we took up, it was really deep in me, and we are looking at what can we do to contribute to a nation building. So there are very many sectors. There are those in governments, private sector, and we thought Governance for Africa should come up as a linkage between the government and the citizens, who are the end user. So for us, as Governance for Africa, we don't do activism as other civil society organizations, but we believe in strategic engagement because we believe we are Rwandans or Rwandese, and we are working for the Rwandese. So for us is first of all identify what are the challenges to the common people, to the people in villages and communities, then do that consultation and then engage policymakers to incorporate their needs to the national planning. So that's how we have tried to work with the communities as well as working with the public institutions.
That's quite an amazing story, Cyrus. And given the diverse communities and regions in Rwanda, what unique challenges have you encountered in ensuring equitable provision of basic social amenities?
First of all, the main major challenge, it was mindset change.
Yeah.
Because some people were mastering the old history. And most of, because of the old government before 1994, it's like evolution of the 21st century. People are not adapted to this. Everything was really local. Of course, whatever we do, we base on our culture, but I think also we need to adapt. Adaptation is very important to the new change, the new world order, but of course, benefiting from that, but using our norms and values and our culture. So that was the first challenge. Also, another challenge, as you know, Rwanda is a landlocked country. But being a landlocked country, it does not mean you're mind locked. So some countries may be having all the natural resources, but of course, where there is no creativity, innovation, and you find someone from outside is the one benefiting from the natural resources. Let's say the colonizers. We know some countries in Africa where you find even the bread to feed on in the morning, it comes from those developed countries in Paris. And so I think also another challenge was that we're fighting with many. It's like building from nothing. So the opportunity was a good leadership, but of course there was nothing because Rwandese, everyone was poor, and also our history, it was really very challenging. You will find people were in the country who survived the genocide, and people coming in the country, they are equally in the number. And we find that these ones who are coming, they have no land, they have nowhere to stay. So understanding, getting, understanding the mindset change I talked from the beginning. Then Rwanda, because they developed a decentralized form of government. So people adapting to staying together, things that they were not used to, it was really a challenge. It was very hard. And also there are some, with our culture, some communities that never believed in staying in unsit houses. And they would put them in a very nice house. They were like, no, these people, I think they want to kill us. So it was a tug of war to bring people together because the government that we have, which is a government of national unity, so people from different regions, different tribes and cultures staying in one settlement. At first it was a challenge, but later, because of the provision of basic needs and infrastructure, they realized actually it was an opportunity for them. Yeah.
So Cyrus, in your own opinion, how crucial is community involvement in sustaining developmental projects, and how does Governance for Africa facilitate this?
Governance for Africa, first of all, I want to tell you that Rwanda, because of the leadership we have, it is helping us to have very good citizens.
Does that mean you have good leadership?
Yes.
All right.
We have good leadership that is people-centered. So people being centered in all affairs that are being to be done for them, you find the citizens in Rwanda know government programs more than even some of the leaders. They know their rights. So Governance for Africa, what we do mostly is we do a lot of work, the capacity building. For example, awareness, information dissemination is our fundamental objective. For example, awareness of the new policies, new laws to them, working with the community leaders. But of course, even before that, we do consultation. A law that is in a process, a policy that is in a process, they give their views, but when after the parliament has passed, as being adopted, then we go back to engage with the citizens. This is here. So, because sometimes we believe the citizens leading to the development, first of all, they need to understand their rights. So it's very important and very easy for us because we have that centralized form of government. And if we have the women, we have the representative from the national parliament to the village level. If the youth, we have a representative from the national parliament to the village level, province, district, sector, cell, and the village. So we work with the local leadership from the communities. And sometimes what we have been trying to do, I'll give a testimony during COVID. Governance for Africa participated in the government loan recovery planning. There was some money that the government were putting in the MFIs, microfinance, and SACCOs to be given to communities to recover from COVID. And for us, what we are doing, we developed 6 modules: credit risk management, loan appraisal, loan recovery, monitoring and control mechanism, agribusiness, and we are training SACCO officials and microfinance people how to manage these funds and how to give, to help local people, communities, how to use these funds and how to benefit and gain and get profit and return the money with the profit. So I think that's how we have been trying to work with the communities, and also we try to help some work with the cross-border people. And we have seen that all the economy, the Rwandan economy, I'll tell you that 15 to 20 years back, the grant from abroad, the donation was, Rwanda was depending on donation almost 100%. But today, I think we are around 68% from domestic revenues. And that is because of mindset change, people coming up with business, people growing up economically. And it's a process, of course, it doesn't come one day, but we see some improvement and some development coming.
You're quite strategic in the work that you do. I would also love to know what strategies or measures does Governance for Africa have in place to gauge the impact of your initiatives?
First of all, it's inclusion. We believe in inclusivity, leaving no one behind. And also we believe in partnership and collaboration. Because those are some of the key strategies we use, because when we have everyone on board and also understanding purely our constitution, the national laws, and also something that is driving us is Pan-Africanism. Pan-Africanism means me, you, and anyone that is, it's not being patriotic, but being proud of who you are. And when you're proud of who you are, for you to be better, it's because your neighbor is better. Because you can't be locked in a house that you have fed well, you have a nice room, but a neighbor in the second room is crying all the night, you cannot sleep. So we believe in inclusion and also in partnership and collaboration, engaging everyone. That's the main strategy that Governance for Africa is really, really does. And also working with other civil society organizations that are in line with our programs.
No wonder the impact. Cyrus, could you maybe elaborate on the key pillars that guide your organization's mission to foster societal development and to promote social change?
First of all, I think it's believing and implementing our mission, which is to enhance the principles of good governance. That means leadership and people's rights. That is being freedom and entitlement. People's rights for sustainable development and prosperity. So with that, we look at implementation, but also we look at the sustainability. For example, we don't do it just as governance for Africa, but we look at the sustainability. Have we trained these people? And by the way, it's not that when we group these people to be in circles, in association, that is governance for Africa that is going to lead them. They are going to elect leaders from themselves. So for these skills that they gain, it's whereby sometimes they even grow bigger, and we find if it's women traders, women in business, youth in vocational training, you find for us, we are just a voice to advocate for them and also to help them to. So some of the pillars and some of the strategies is to stick to our vision.
Yeah.
And I think when you go contrary to your vision, that's when we believe you'll find yourself in another angle that it will also challenge your vision or your mission.
Yeah. Cyrus, how do you facilitate and ensure active citizen participation?
We do that by engagement, by planning and assessment. First of all, we do identification, who is to be engaged. If we are talking about, for example, let me say youth, never forget students. And with the students, not everyone, you engage guild presidents, students leaders. Then you work with local governments, the youth structure, the leaders. Then you go to youth-led organizations. Then you go to private sector youth chamber. So because these ones, they have constituents, those ones we engage them, plan with them, and implementation of your action plan will be smooth and fruitful.
Yeah. Tell me about any success stories where citizen participation led to tangible, positive changes in communities here in Rwanda.
I'll give you just two.
Please.
One in tax rights,
Yeah.
or taxation. Another one, let me start because I'm a governance practitioner. I think the success stories is about civic engagement, whereby we have a program entitled the African Youth Ambassadors Program. With this, we have inter-university students debate. And each debate, we have a topic. If we are discussing about international relations and political science, we go to universities that have these courses. And when the young people are debating either on reproductive health, climate change, environment, world economics, someone is going to do research. And because if someone is we are talking about anti-corruption, and someone, because it's very hard to teach someone things related to anti-corruption when someone is 50 and above or 60. If it's corrupt, it's corrupt. But we have an African proverb that literally says, a tree is mended when it's still young, at the younger stage, because that's when you can shape it in the shape that you want. So we believe that these are the people that will be in the office tomorrow. Someone will be a president, someone will be a prime minister, these people will be in a pyramid, someone will be a CEO or an MD. So to mentor this person with norms and values, and Rwanda is having a national civic academy or Itorero through the National Itorero Commission. And for us as governance for Africa, we look at having a very good Pan-African young person that believes the opportunities in Africa, the opportunities in Rwanda. That's a success that we really have. All people that have gone through our trainings, it's very hard for a young person to have a mission in the US or Europe and someone decides to stay there, because we have inculcated that spirit that Africa is better, Rwanda is very amazing, and all the opportunities are here. And indeed, opportunities are in Africa. And also, we have participated as Governors for Africa into tax policies, taxation, illicit financial flows, where we work with the Minister of Finance and Economic Planning, where people before used to think issues related to corruption, taxation, those are government programs. But people have now really understand that this is our right to know, and also it is our duty to pay taxes, but also to inquire, what does our money we pay, what does it do? And I think we are really seeing a vibrancy change that we are supporting the government, but also implementing what we believe in.
Yeah. Given the Rwanda's diverse cultural backdrop, Cyrus, how does your organization bridge the gap between legal provisions against gender-based violence and their on-ground implementation?
Thank you so much. First of all, we don't believe much in legal arguments, legal courts. We believe in mediation, but before mediation, reconciliation, but also before that, how do we then prevent even mediation and prevention is that capacity building, dialogue, consensus, dialogue, debate, whereby we try, actually Governance for Africa, most of our work, we organize national dialogues on different aspects. Because it's very hard. Sometimes when people don't come together, they fear each other. But when you bring in a room the directors, public officials, and people from civil society that represent citizens and the local people and the communities, you find they really understand each other. Never tell me in Africa, even if you're a prime minister, you have an uncle who is in the village. So that's how we try to bridge that gap, by dialogue, by convening discussions, people discussing together, and capacity building on different aspects. And you find sometimes it eases the work of a leader, and also it helps this leader to understand what is happening on the ground. So Governance for Africa is more of a bridge between the communities and public institutions and other civil society organizations.
Yeah. Considering the efforts that you placed on preventing gender-based violence, how does your organization work in promoting awareness and education?
First of all, I'll tell you that preventing and promoting gender is one of our priority. Because we believe we want to break that barrier of African culture of ignoring women and girls. And we have seen that what a man can do, women can do, and even better. And this is a personal analysis. I've seen that even institutions that are women-led, these are the less corrupt institutions, to be honest. Of course, I'm not forgetting or ignoring about nature. But first of all, rules and policies that support and also are there to prevent them from any harassment. Then also, first of all, the dialogues I've been telling you, through citizen participation in policy formulation and in decision lawmaking. So when we are doing this, we tell them that you have to. The good thing is that we have a good political will you can't have a committee of 3 people, the president, the vice, and the secretary general, without having a lady in Rwanda.
Okay.
It's not allowed by the law. So first of all, respect, first of all, it's a norm, it's a value everyone should be having, but also there are some guiding principles, policies we have as an institution that prevent either in the maternity leave, either preventing any insultation depending on gender, and gender, it's not just women, but also even men. So someone should not be harassed depending maybe his nature or how he was born.
Yeah.
But I think having policies in place and also having that sense of dialogue and capacity building, empowering women and gender in general to participate in the decision lawmaking and in policy formulation.
Okay, that's a very beautiful statement. Have you partnered with the government before to combat gender-based violence?
First of all, I will just help you know that the NGOs in Rwanda are registered under, there is a law for civil society organization registration. There is what you have to fulfill. So as an organization, you're badged. You cannot be given, I will not say a status of implementing your activities when you are not showing your implementation plan, your vision, your mission, what you're going to do. And also I want to tell you that when we are talking about the government, and sometimes you think it's very far from us. For us, we believe we are the government. We have leaders, but also we believe, because when you believe that you're doing something for someone else, there is no ownership.
True.
But for us, I think what I've tried to insert in our mind as Rwandese is that everyone in any sector, private sector, civil society, media, you're contributing to a nation building. So when you're talking the government, I think whatever I'm doing, this is a sector where I am, but I'm also contributing to a nation building. So Governance for Africa is that for us, we believe we want a democratic, peaceful, and empowered African society, but starting with Rwanda. So being peaceful, being democratic, it's because, first of all, when someone at least is economically stable, because you can't be peaceful when you have slept hungry.
Yeah.
So there is a way of mindset change, asking people to be innovative, creativity, and also setting up laws, talking to the government, and also not asking the government, because now the Rwandan government is really moving very hard, engaging citizens, because when the government is a citizenally led, we all citizen with the citizen participation, then it becomes very easy.
Yeah. I wish you knew how incredible it is to listen to you, Cyrus. You have a lot of work going around uplifting the youth and empowering women. And I would love to know, with the issue of unemployment among the youth and women remaining pressing, how is Governance for Africa addressing this through maybe creation of employment opportunities?
Thank you so much. First of all, our strategy is that is planning and identification. There I mean problem analysis.
Yeah.
And then for us, because we don't have that money to help young people, like to give them money physically on their account. Then we do mapping. Who can be a partner in this? Then what do? We design programs. We engage the public institutions for statistics, for the policies, and also try to look for the partners. And then for us, what we try to do is to bring these people together in groups. First of all, we do trainings. And after doing trainings, then we advocate. I told you the main role for civil society organization is advocacy and awareness. So for us is to call to these partners that there are these groups here, they need help. So for us, it's a mindset change and looking at how can someone go out of this. But for us, our main role is training, capacity building, but engage other partners who can support financially and also engage policy leaders who are in charge for youth on behalf of the government to know the problem of these young people. And you find sometimes there are many schools, vocational trainings, and some of them we have mentored them, have become very big entrepreneurs in agriculture, rural development, and there are many, most of the things that we teach them, there's also, we had a problem of rural-urban migration. Like every young person may think that opportunities are in town, yet opportunities actually is in the village because there's enough land, even good environment, but here you used to find most of them are going into bad groups. They start smuggling, and which has reduced. So those are some, our area is to put them together, train them, then advocate for them.
You mentioned about empowering people that have already become like big entrepreneurs in Rwanda. How do you ensure that these empowerment programs are not just short term, all right, but lead to sustainable livelihoods and self-reliance?
First of all, we have a monitoring and evaluation strategy. And also we mind much about sustainability.
All right.
And it's not about the training you attend, then you go. But there is always assessment and follow-up of the government and to these groups. And our office is always open for anyone with a challenge, either in education. There are those that are denied maybe administration to be admitted somewhere. So we are always there to do a follow-up. If someone is saying that now I have this farm of maybe bananas or mangoes and now I need market, we go to NAEB, National Agriculture Export Board. So we guide them or we talk to someone there. So it's not just training them and leaving them, but we create that relationship, and there's even someone who is always there to do a follow-up.
Looking forward, Cyrus, what areas do you see as having the most potential for youth and women empowerment in Rwanda?
First of all, it's in business.
Right.
Rwanda is a very nice, a very sweet country to invest in.
All right.
And I would encourage you also as a woman, please to come and invest in Rwanda.
Okay.
I'll give you reasons. First of all, we have a very good political will to that. Two, we have a very good conducive environment to business development, either with the government strategy and policies that are business oriented and business friendly. And also, the country is very peaceful in that most of the conferences across the continent, everyone wants to bring the meeting in Rwanda, hence development. And this country is led by entrepreneurs. So also even the competition, which is good, that there's learning of experience. So I think youth and women, the most potential area is job creation. Either in tourism, either in agriculture, either in business, either in transportation, either in any business may do in Rwanda. We have supporting institutions. We have RDB, we have private sector, we have Ministry of Commerce and Trade if you have an industry, and these people provided, you're saying, and also they have this desk. When you have a challenge, say I'm going through this, there's a facilitation for you to help you move up. And also, as people working also with the Rwanda Revenue Authority, you can tell them, I need a grace period, I'm going through this. These are people that really understand.
Yeah.
So I think entrepreneurship in Rwanda, it's a hot deal.
Yeah. So at the East Africa Philanthropy Network, we keenly follow whatever you do at the Governance for Africa. And we are aware of a convening you're hosting on 29th November around taxation and the role of CSOs in Rwanda. All right. So given that upcoming event, can you shed some light on the key concerns or issues that Governance for Africa hopes to address during that event?
First of all, Philanthropy Network, we are very happy that we are members.
Yeah.
It's a great forum for all civil society and other private sector corporate companies should join and be part in, because it gives opportunity to share out what you do and how you do it, and also a learning university where you get to know and also get to know what can support your work.
All right.
So with what is being planned to do, I think when we are talking about taxation, we are talking about development. It is through tax revenues that develop any country, any state.
All right.
I'll give you an example. When we talk about USAID, there's a GIZ, there's so DFID. These are taxpayers' money that go to do business in other continents. So when we are talking about taxation, we are talking about sustainability and self-reliance. And also we are talking about rights, and we are talking about development. So Pan-Africanism, taxation, and the tax conference is first of all looking at all the philanthropian people. How do we voice out and champion the issues of tax rights, advocacy and awareness, our role, and also our contribution, and also accountability. It's a sense of accountability. And I think philanthropy, if you are not accountable, then it will be hard to be a very good leader. So that's why the conference is there. It's about accountability, responsibility, and development. And the outcome is how do we go forward and work together as a region.
Okay. So with civil society organizations in the picture, right? How do you view the role of them, including yours, in shaping taxation policies that are equitable and just?
First of all, these civil society leaders should understand their national tax policies and should also master their constitution, what it says about taxation. Then they should understand their national economy and should understand the environment, the capacity of the citizens. So, after understanding that, then their role is to do advocacy and awareness. Because you cannot advocate of what you don't know. And also, there should be collaboration. And you understand, for the East African community, all the ministers of finance, they read the budget almost the same date in June. That's at least, I think, trying to harmonize the budget, the region. So I think the role for civil society is taking a lead in advocacy and awareness. Because some of the ministries, most of them use consultants. You find someone sits in the office, goes to Google and is thinking about for 55 million of people in that country, and you find some people. So I think the role for civil society is engagement, consultation, before, during, and after, participating before, during, and after adoption of a tax policy.
That's true. And the landscape, the socioeconomic landscape is rapidly changing, Cyrus. So what innovations or changes do you maybe anticipate in Rwanda's taxation system? And how is governance for Africa preparing to contribute constructively to these discussions?
First of all, the landscape is changing. First of all, you have to see there are some unavoidable circumstances. For example, we had COVID. COVID did not come from Rwanda, Kenya, Tanzania, came from somewhere else. Those were the unavoidable circumstances. I'll give you my own response as a Pan-African. The only way to achieve that and to harmonize this and promote and develop in this, it's only through intra-African trade. Because it's a nuisance for Rwanda to grow maize. We take maize to Germany, yet a neighboring Burundi, they need maize. Look at the transportation. So intra-African trade, I think, is the only solution to this very big answer of yours. So when we start exporting and importing from one another, and also these trade barriers being removed, having the common market, embracing the Africa Continental Free Trade Area, that's the only way Africa should go. And that's when we are going to enjoy, to benefit, and to develop our continent.
That's right. Cyrus, we couldn't be more humble. Thank you very much for choosing to educate us today. And I want to give you this opportunity to welcome our audience to the National Dialogue on Taxation and the role of CSOs in Rwanda.
Thank you so much. Our viewers, I want to thank you and also to tell you that Governance for Africa is a Pan-African civil society organization that believes in strategic engagement. That's why we believe in philanthropy, giving back to the community, working with everyone. Inclusion is very key to all of us. So issues related to taxation in the conference in November is to bring people together to share experience and also to learn, share experience, learn from one another as we forge a way forward in a better way to advocate and do awareness on our rights to taxation and on taxation. Thank you so much.
You're welcome, Cyrus. One last thing before you go, and thanks for the handshake. How does it feel to be a very key partner and a very valued member to EAPN? How is the feeling?
East Africa Philanthropy Network, we are very grateful. And I think this is a body we should belong in, because a body that is with humanity, working for the people and believing in people and working with the people. So Philanthropy Network is the only way to share experience, to share opportunities, and to develop each other. So we are very grateful as Governance for Africa, and we commit ourselves to support and also to have the ownership as a member of Philanthropy East Africa Network. Thank you.
And thank you so much, Cyrus, for talking to us today. How do you say thank you in Kinyarwanda?
You say murakoze.
All right. When we are many?
When we are many, murakoze. When I'm the only one, murakoze. Now you can say murakoze because I have my colleagues also who are viewing.
Yeah. Murakoze, Cyrus, and Murakoze for watching this episode. By the way, apart from the rains, what's good in Rwanda?
I'll tell you, there are many things that are good in Rwanda, but one good thing in Rwanda, we have good people.
Yeah.
Good people, that's the most good thing you find in Rwanda. Then there are other things. We have a very beautiful country with 1,000 hills and millions of smiles and billions of blessings.
Yeah. Thank you so much. My name is Momo. See you in the next episode.